All right, so good morning. This is your daily insight. So the post this morning was on, let me just bring it up here. So the post this morning was essentially, I guess, me, not a vent, but I guess dispensing a truth, a hard truth that a lot of people have difficulty wrapping their heads around in regards to, what is actually necessary to do this. I think a lot of us go into this with kind of rose-colored glasses. It's going to be quick, it's going to be easy. The industry kind of sells us on that. And if we're coming up against anything that at all feels like resistance, then obviously we're doing something wrong, because it shouldn't be this hard. Neil, being healthy shouldn't be this hard. And the truth is, everybody, being healthy isn't hard. It's the fact that we're so removed from being healthy that makes the transition hard. So being healthy isn't hard. It's our natural state. But the transition is from where we are now today. All right? So let's make that perfectly clear. What I do every day to be who I am today is not hard. For me, and the reason why I think sometimes I love what I do, but I find it difficult, is the fact that a lot of people can't see that. That they're in that place where they've confused familiar for comfort. And what they're doing seems easier than what they're looking to do. And for those few of us that are on the other side of it, they're shaking our heads saying, if you only knew what it felt like to be on this side, how comfortable and easy and balanced it is. But a lot of it falls on the industry, the ideas and the sales tactics in regards to, quick and easy, 12 weeks, here we go. And also too, the identity that you've got to be this tightly wound, weighing and measuring, and no social life. And, our perception of health is utter crap. It's ridiculous in our culture. You go to other cultures and health really takes on a whole new meaning. It's incredible. Happy and laughing and living a long life expectancy, and not spending countless hours at the gym and taking oodles of supplements, and abstaining from social behavior, and like all these things that we here in our culture identify as, oh, well, that person's healthy. But I'm here to tell you, it's not. They're not. And that behavior is no way, in any way, shape, or form, healthy. So it's about kind of finding your own version, right? Painting your own picture with the same, again, paints and paintbrush and canvas that everybody else has, but creating your own image of what health is, and then continuously modifying that image as we grow and develop. So just kind of, evolving as and letting health take us places. The other part to that message this morning was, the more uncomfortable you feel tracking, following your meal plan, checking in, exercising, being active daily, and I do separate those two because activity and exercise are very two different creatures. Drinking your water, listening to these little podcasts, reading the material that's posted in the morning. For those of you that are in the primary service, InSight service, checking in, daily with the posting that's going on in the private Facebook group regarding the educational component. Like those behaviors, guys, those are the key to your success. Like it may feel uncomfortable, but it's an indicator that it needs to happen. Those of you that are doing really, really well within the service are doing those things. Those of you that are struggling are not. And sometimes it makes me want to beat my head against the wall, because it's really difficult to get people to see that. Success leaves clues. If I do similar things to the people that I aspire to be like, I in turn will be like them. Our bodies, ourselves, we're adaptive organisms. That's what we're designed to do. So if I treat my body like it's healthy, like if I feed it healthy, if I keep it active, if I exercise it, or if I feed it nutritiously, if I exercise it, if I keep it active, if I think positive, if I drink lots of water, my body's got nowhere to go. It has to convert. It's what it does. It shapes itself to its environment. Its behaviors condition it. If I go to the gym and I lift weights, my body develops either in favor of the weights or not in favor of the weights, right? My body either builds up or breaks down, but there is a response to it. There's always a response to the stimulus. That response can be beneficial or detrimental, depending on what you're giving the body, the tools that you're giving your body in order to mold itself around the stimuli, all right? Not to get scientific, but that's the truth. So effectively, we're almost projecting ourselves into the future, which is why I, in that message, talked about, the better you tomorrow. Because that's essentially what you're doing. You're feeding yourself like that person. You're living your life like that person, and eventually you become that person. That's just the way it is. It's the law of attraction, guys. It's, it's quantum. It's there. It's real. And this is what other people aren't doing. They refuse to let that thought permeate. It's got to be harder, Neil. It's got to be more difficult, more scientific. I've got to fast 18 hours and I've got to do this and I got to stand on my head. And it doesn't need to be like that. All right. It's the everyday behaviors. It's stepping outside of your familiar zone. And notice I didn't say comfort zone, because it's not comfortable to be morbidly obese, to be unhappy with the way that you look, feel, having, terrible gut health and inflamed joints and tired all the time and moody, and knowing that there's more in life that you want, but you can't seem to get out of your own way to reach it. That's not comfortable. I've been there. It sucks. But it's like a state of institutionalization. It's Stockholm syndrome. It's all you know, and then it becomes the familiar. It's like spending 15 years in prison. Then when you're released, you're so riddled with anxiety and you're so overwhelmed and everything is so new, even though your potential's limitless now because you're no longer incarcerated. You desire to go back because it's familiar, right? So the people that I work with that have, and remember, I've been doing this 20 years plus, the few people that have maintained and actually even, progressed in their evolution, they embrace this fact, right? Once the multitude of changes need to take place, it's like, building a house, then it becomes the room by room approach where, okay, let's outfit the kitchen, right? Let's get furniture. Let's, choose to paint on the walls, like these types of things. Then it becomes that type of enjoyable evolution where you get to personalize and kind of really make it your own, as opposed to, okay, this is a structure, it's got windows and doors and everything else that another house has, but you get the chance now to put your personality to it. You get to make these small room by room changes, these influences on those rooms. So anyway, that's kind of where we're going right now. All right, is this. Let me go to this. All right. Sorry, just tooling around with this app. Sorry. So the daily habits, right, guys? it's what builds this quality of life that everybody's aspiring for. You have to take ownership of that. You have to understand, okay, it is the daily habits. It's not the big things that we do periodically. It's not even the 8 weeks that some of you are on that are listening to this. That's just the beginning. That's just the introductory. It's to give you access to insight to these behaviors and these daily practices that everybody in the group should be partaking in. But again, a lot are resistant to it because they don't see the importance of it, but yet they can't seem to wrap their heads around why they haven't been able to achieve their goal. And it's, it can be frustrating on both ends as the coach and the coachee. But, listening to things like this, I hope it resonates with you in some capacity. And you're understanding that, I'm doing these things that I'm asking you to do. And the people that are successful within the community, they're doing the things that I'm asking you to do, right? So if you want what they have, if you want something different, then you must, do something different. And if it means emulating the behaviors of people that are getting it done, then that's a great place to start. And then all of a sudden, the changes and the impact that behavior, those daily behaviors and habits have on you, they start to create kind of a sense of truth to it. And all of a sudden now, you see it validates that behavior. It validates those habits. So it becomes a daily routine. And before you know it, it is who you are. And then you're on the other side of the line and you're looking back saying, my God, I can't believe I lived like that for so long. That was hard. But like I've said before, hard times make strong people. And there's a reason why you're here right now. There's a reason why you've committed to the InSight services. There's a reason why you're not just accepting who it is that you are. That there's something inside of all of us that tells us that we're more than how we're living at this particular point. It drives us forward. It pushes us to evolve. So, anyway, that's the insight for the day. All right, stick to it. Changes, they happen with intention, and if you're not intentional in your changes, if you're not intentional in your behavior, there's a very high percentage, a very high possibility that you're not going to like where you end up. Because you didn't get there of your own volition. It wasn't intentional. By being more intentional with your day, by, tracking, right? If you can't count it, you can't measure it. Following a prescribed meal plan. I mean, that's just basically putting an IKEA table together. You flip the page, step 1, step 2, step 3, and the table comes together, right? It's a way of getting there. And then the commitment to insight, reading, asking questions, listening to these things, that's what allows you to keep the table together and maybe even build on to that table, right? And just, don't be afraid of change. All right, change is awkward. It's not meant to be easy. It's, like I said in the message, it can be intimidating. But so could asking someone to marry you. So could, starting a family. So could buying a house. So could putting a resume together and handing that resume in. I know I sound old because I don't even know if people are doing it these days, right? Those things, the better version of you is always on the other side of that challenge, of that intimidating thought, that discomfort, that unease that you feel before you evolve, before you become someone that you would aspire to be like, all right? So anyway, just some insight for the day. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you're finding value in these messages. these little podcasts, and in the content